Jebel. So thank you so much, Ms. Hana, for giving me this opportunity to speak with such lovely people today. So I'm going to talk about fasting and health. There's a lot to tell you, but let me just summarize it in 6 minutes. So fasting in holy month of Ramadan, it stretches about 12 to 14 hours. It is stretch and it's for like 29 to 30 days. So it is associated with wonderful benefits. So let me just start with the general one, general effects on our body, the whole health. So first, the foremost is weight loss. We should lose weight in Ramadan because the low calorie intake, less cholesterol, but there are some mixed studies, some mixed reviews because it all depends what you eat before and after the fast. So if you are taking high carbohydrate diet or high calorie diet, so you might be inhibiting these wonderful effects which you can get from keto-friendly diet or low-calorie diet. So another very incredible effect, benefit of fasting is that it affects on our whole body composition. How it does? Actually, it's kind of a metabolic switching. Like first, when we fast for long hours, so our body sugar stores depleted. So we are exhausting our sugar stores and start using our fat stores. So it's kind of a metabolic switching. So what it helps? It helps to improve our metabolic markers like insulin sensitivity. So it lowers the risk of type 2 diabetes. And it also helps in the cell repair, or we call it autophagy. Like when the cell, what happens wherein the cell damages or removes its dysfunctional proteins, and this autophagy process helps in preventing the diseases which are associated with aging, like cancer, heart disease, neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's or Parkinsonism. And fasting has an interesting benefit also, that is it reduces the inflammation in our body. So how it does? It does by two things. Number one, we have more ketone production in our body during fast. So what happens? These ketones lead to decrease in the cytokines, which increase the inflammation. So when the cytokines are less, there is less inflammation in the body. And the next, we have some good microbes in our intestine. These are called like microbiomes. These are bacteria, fungi, viruses, but they are good for our health. So when we are fasting, they start producing some anti-inflammatory proteins. So it reduces the inflammation. So what is the use of reduction of inflammation? Because there are many diseases which are associated with more inflammation in the body, like asthma, bronchitis, our autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. So fasting also reduces the inflammation in the body. Next is it reduces the stress. How it reduces the stress? Because fasting controls your cortisol levels. When you have regulates your meal, this is the proper time of meal, so the cortisol level is regulated. So it's going to reduce your stress also. And another amazing thing, it is like a detox, a long month detox. Like what happens when we are depleting our fat stores, it's also removing the poisonous or the bad components in our fat deposits. So it's also removing the toxins. So it's basically detoxifying our body. Let's talk about the vital organs. What about the brain? It is improving the brain function because we have one protein in our brain which is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It increases during fast. So there are some studies conducted in patients of Alzheimer's, and they have seen that they have less levels of this protein, brain-derived neurotrophic factors. And it also helps to reduce the cardiovascular events because you're going to take less calories, less cholesterol, lower triglyceride levels, and it's going to be reduce your hypertension, and it leads to low prevalence of cardiovascular events. Last but not the least, now the research is going on how fasting can your immune system. I know the time is very less, but I want to tell the fasting is not for all. There are some people who have some underlying diseases or pregnant ladies, children, old age, so they can be exempted from the fast. So the message for today is fasting should be done safely and responsibly with a good nutrition. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.